cypress, and look at that egret going.
The circle of life. This is like spelunking, huh?
Yeah. Well, good morning, y'all. A little bit of a bumpy video here. I'm on the Bump Nose Trail, which is a 6-mile trail. Decided to do a bike ride this morning here at Florida Caverns State Park. And I'm kind of on the final leg of the journey here. So I'm just going to turn the video around and let you see what it's like. So it's a grassy trail through the woods. It's mowed and maintained for both hiking and biking and horseback. It's about 6 miles, 6.5, I think. They call it the Bump Nose, I think, for a reason. A little bumpy. And one of the videos, I was talking to a lady earlier, one of the videos shows the trail going alongside the river. And I got to say, the only place I saw water looked more like a pond. But it's been a nice ride this morning. Seen all kinds of wildlife, deer, turkey, rabbits, red-tailed hawk, and lots of other birds.
We're up here at the Vista Center at Florida Caverns, and we're getting ready to do a little bit of a hike on the Bluff Trail. It rained earlier today, and it's a little overcast now, but hopefully we won't get wet. I don't think it's going to rain anymore.
I don't think it's going to rain anymore, and with the rain coming in, it's cooled things off, so
it ought to be a nice hike, except for being a little damp.
Probably so.
Yep.
Well, let's get our hike on.
Alrighty. This is the cave tour entrance. It's lush and green, very humid down there.
And it was not as cool as I thought it would be for a cave tour. I mean, we were dressed yesterday in shorts and t-shirts, and it was actually kind of humid and a little bit warm, I thought.
Yeah, it was. It's going to go down just a little bit. The stairs are wet. Just going to be real careful. Not going to go down all the way. But the entrance to the cave is kept closed, obviously, until the tour comes, and then they'll open it. But that's the entrance right there. And look how lush and pretty and green it is down here.
You know what, there's 2 trails here. There's the Beech Magnolia Trail, and then there's the Bluff Trail. Between the 2 of them, they're only about 1 mile long, so I think actually probably would have been better off to go around the back side of the visitor center.
Oh, so we're kind of going backwards?
So we're kind of going backwards.
Where we came out.
Yep, this is the exit. And we'll do the Beech Magnolia Trail first.
Oh goodness. Couldn't bike up this trail.
Definitely not. The jagged limestone outcrops.
Yeah. You don't dare fall. Kind of a narrow trail.
It is. Step. Big magnolia tree right there.
Mm-hmm. And the top's gone out of it.
Yep. Thank you, Hurricane Michael.
Right.
Looks like they did a good job of, after the hurricane, they just cut. When big trees fell across this path, they just cut chunks out of them and rolled it to the side.
Yeah.
Like this one here. Both sides. Just cut a chunk, roll them out over the out of the way.
Oh, that's a big one also.
Yep.
Big magnolia. That's interesting with those orange things on there. Worms. Ooh, caterpillars. Or millipedes. Slugs.
All kinds of interesting critters on there.
Here, take that.
It's a fruiting body of fungus is what that is. You sound like a wild animal back there.
Actually, let's stand over here. Whoa. Come up forward. Like between the two trees. Okay. A big piece of limestone there.
Big one.
Now tell me again, for everybody else to know, why is it so lush and green?
Well, this is a temperate hardwood forest, and we're between a floodplain of the Chipola River and the pine stands, which are higher elevation. So we've got enough, there's enough of a temperature change in this part of the country, in this part of the state, and the higher elevation, that we've got a lot of deciduous trees here, and so that's why it's so lush. You've got the water below us a little bit, the elevation, and all these hardwood trees that put out water.
That concludes the educational part of the video.
Thank you to our personal biologist / ag teacher.
Look at these roots. Get this out of here. Go ahead and stand up in that. Oh, wow. That's cool. Those are pretty fungus things.
That was quite a tree in its day.
Yes, it was. Wonder what kind of tree it was. Beech?
National champion Florida elm.
Wow.
Champion tree is the largest known example of its species or variety. This tree is the largest Florida elm that's ever been measured. 1995, it was 102 feet tall, 120 inches in circumference.
Wow.
State parks are often home to champion trees because logging is not permitted and trees are allowed to grow for their entire natural life. When they finally die, they provide essential habitat for insects, woodpeckers, bats, and other wildlife species, including fungus. This is a fairly lengthy quarter mile. Oh, here we're coming to the end of it. Or actually, this is the beginning of it.
So which way?
This way.
The other trail. We're coming up to the back side of the Visitor Center, which houses restrooms, a gift shop where you can purchase cavern tour tickets, a museum where you can learn about cave life, plants, animals, and the indigenous people that lived in this area long ago. The museum also offers virtual cabin tours for those people with disabilities.
This building pretty well survived Hurricane Michael. And the interesting thing about that is this building was built in the 1930s by the Civilian Conservation Corps, the CCC. They also were involved in developing this park and even digging out some of the areas within the cave. There was a group of them known as the Gopher Boys, and they were the ones that did a lot of the digging and crawling through the really small spaces. So now we're taking off down the Bluff Trail. We did get a warning that the Bluff Trail could be a little wet, so we'll just see how far we can go.
And we're going to have to watch out for these limestone outcroppings.
Watch your step coming down. Here's something interesting.
Wow.
No, I don't think it's petrified. I think it's just a outcropping of rock that somehow got worn away in the middle, either by a tree or water or something. But I do see something else that aggravates me.
What?
You know what that is.
Trash.
Somebody threw a bottle down.
No. When you go on hikes or you walk anything, pack in, pack out. Pack it in, pack it out. Don't throw it on the ground or in the bushes.
Well, if I'm going to come along behind you and have to crawl in the bushes and get it out.
And he don't like doing that.
No. But I'd rather do it than leave it.
Oh, that was a heck of a tree.
It was.
Ooh.
If you look to the right, you'll see why this is called the Bluff Trail.
Yep.
We're up on the top edge of a bluff.
Whoa. Okay, now here's a better example. There's the water back there somewhere.
Still see a lot of devastation from Hurricane Michael.
A lot of trees down.
Buttressed trees. Many of the trees growing on the river floodplain have enlarged bases to their trunks. This is most commonly seen on gums and cypress. These buttresses protect the trees from the strong floodwater currents and loose soil of floodplain. These trees have shallow root systems and might be easily toppled otherwise. Look at these little fungi, cute little yellow ones.
Here's some more of those limestone outcroppings you have to be aware of when you're hiking this trail.
And there's a better view of some of the buttressed trees. Cypress, and look at that egret going. That wasn't an egret, that was a heron.
Chipola River floodplain. After the heavy rains to the north of the park, the Chipola River floods this low, flat swamp. The Tupelo cypress, ash, and other trees slow the floodwaters and cause the soil, which has eroded from lands upstream, to be deposited here on the floor of the swamp. The Floodplain Swamp is nature's sponge filter and flood control.
Careful walking down this.
Get a big kick of a fall.
Yeah, this is just a side trail so that you can see the floodplain.
Oh, wow. Look at that mess.
Ooh, take a picture of that. That's pretty.
Here's an example of the wall of the bluff. Yeah, see the wall?
Mm-hmm. Wall of the bluff.
The fern is just amazing here. It's really pretty. Again, look at those limestone trails. You definitely don't want to trip and fall and probably cut your knee open. Okay, there's a sweet gum that fell over. Pretty big one. The sap of the sweet gum tree is used as a stimulant and an antiseptic. Its wood is often used for furniture and sometimes called imitation walnut. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Oh, wow. That one fell down.
Big old pine tree.
Huge. And there's the other part of it. There's part of it. Golly. And there's the rest of it. Okay, this is a cool shot. Get over there, under there. I like cool shots like this. Turn around. Oh. Yeah, that's cool. Hang on, stay there. Okay. It's a boat.
Just peeled off of that.
Whoa. That was a big tree too. That one looks like it might have rotted. You know, you can talk about your jungles of Africa, but we got some jungles here in Florida.
You know, and the interesting thing about this, okay, this tree, along with a lot of other trees that you've mentioned that were really giants, giant trees, they were the giants of the woods, and they've fallen because of a storm, and then all these little fruiting bodies of fungus, lichens and mosses and mushrooms and stuff are starting to cause it to decay, and it's going to go back into the soil. It's going to enrich the soil, and then more trees will eventually become the giants of the forest.
True.
The circle of life. Even the plant kingdom has the circle of life.
There's another large limestone outcropping. Ooh. Well, just look at all these ferns on either side of the trail. That's so cool. Ah, tunnel cave.
Yep.
Let's go
It's a
this.
shortcut to the parking lot.
Well, let's go down before we run out of battery. See the tunnel cave. Well,
That looks like one of the barred up entrances to the cavern.
yep, it sure does. Wanna wait for me? Raspberries.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of feels like we're in a, I don't know, almost a canopy feel, but like you're gonna hear,
Like a jungle. Is that the word you're looking for?
yeah, I guess it is.
Well, it's a temperate hardwood forest. And we don't have a whole lot of these in Florida.
This sign is talking about the Beech, American beech. Beech leaves add a fall color hammock, and the nuts are sought after by the birds and animals. The hardwood is used to obtain charcoal and wood alcohol in furniture and flooring. Beech trees' smooth barks often scarred by initials of thoughtless people. Much of the environment has been scarred by thoughtless people. In fact. Okay, so we finally found the tunnel cave. And there was a tunnel cave bypass, but we're like, we want to see the tunnel cave. Why bypass it? But I guess we have to turn around and go back.
Why?
What, do we go through the tunnel?
We go through the tunnel.
Oh my, you're going to film it with your camera?
Yeah, I'll film it with mine.
Okay, alright, so I don't have to.
So here we go into the tunnel cave.
Alright. This is like spelunking, huh?
Yep, but I can see the other end.
Oh my word. I guess if you really needed to seek shelter, you could. I'm just going to get up my hands and knees and crawl through here.
The biggest problem I just had back there was the backpack was catching.
Yeah, in my camera.
It gets, as soon as you get through there, it gets wider. Yeah, I mean, you can stand up in here once you get through that point. Just watch your head right there. And there's water on the floor right in front of me, and there's a low outcropping right here in front of me. And there's more water right here.
That I can't see.
Your shirt's sparkly.
My shirt is sparkly.
Mm-hmm. Look straight up right there. Look at the cracks. All right, we survived the tunnel cave. And now for the most dangerous part of our journey, the return to civilization.
And we're back to the Vista Center. We have completed our journey.